Hey everybody, this week's Torah portion is Parsha Pekudei. We are finishing the second book of the 5 books of the Torah. And the Torah tells us that at the very end of this story, when Moshe finally has everything put together, the entire temple is, all the parts of it are constructed, and everyone who was building it finished their projects, the people started to get a little suspicious. And they wondered, did Moshe really use all of the gold and the silver and the wool and the linen and everything else that we donated? Did that actually all make its way into the parts of the temple? Or maybe Moshe started pocketing some of it. And they were starting to grow a little suspicious of Moshe. And so what Moshe did was he had everyone come and give an accounting to make sure that and to show everybody that every single piece of gold, silver, and every single garment, anything that was donated, he could show them where it went to, so that every single penny was accounted for. Now what's interesting is that when it came time for Aaron, only not so long before this, to build the golden calf, when they started donating all the gold for the golden calf, after he built it, all he had was a small golden calf, yet nobody complained and wondered, hey, maybe Aaron's pocketing some of the money. Why is it that when Moshe had this massive structure with all the different intricate parts and pieces, everyone questioned whether or not their money had really gone to it, but when Aaron built the golden calf, no one bothered to ask him or to get suspicious about whether or not he was pocketing some of the money? What was the difference? Why were they suspicious of Moshe but not of Aaron? And our rabbis tell us a very interesting psychological insight into the human personality. There's a little filter in every human's brain, and that filter goes on depending on who you're looking at, or who I'm looking at. So that when I see somebody I like, the filter interprets everything I see as good, and when I see something I don't like, the filter interprets everything I see as not good. Now the Torah tells us later on that when Aaron died, every single Jew was very, very upset about it, because everybody loved Aaron. His job was to make peace between people, so naturally everybody loved him. Then not the same for Moshe. When Moshe passed away, there were some people who were not as sad as others, because Moshe was not the peacemaker, he was the leader. And every leader, the best leader in the world, still has some enemies, because you can't always make everybody happy as a leader. In fact, sometimes the best thing is to not make people happy as a leader. And because of that, there were some people who did not like Moshe, but everybody loved Aaron. So when it came time for Moshe to show what he had built, or what he was in charge of building, because there were some people who didn't like him as 100%, there was a little bit of suspicion in their minds. But when it came for Aaron, the filter went on, and everything they saw, they filtered out to be a good thing. So when they saw the gold was turned into a golden calf, they filtered in their mind, and they interpreted it must be that he found a way to use all this gold and compact it into this little calf. What that really tells us, though, is that when we judge people or situations, we're learning a lot more about ourselves than those who we're judging. Because when the people judged Aaron, what they showed was that they loved Aaron, because they didn't ask any questions about him. And when they were suspicious of Moshe, what they were displaying was not a lack of integrity on Moshe, but a lack of integrity upon themselves. And that's really a very important moral lesson that we see from this little portion of the Torah, that whenever we start to judge people, we have to ask ourselves, why is it that this bothers me about this person or what they're doing? Maybe that indicates a little bit more about ourselves than about the person we're looking at. On behalf of Makar, Shabbat Shalom.